Good afternoon. I'm Monique Klein here at the GBTA broadcast studio on our final day here at the convention in Dallas, Texas. And joining me today is Mr. Vineet Taneja, who is the Vice President and General Manager of Travel at Brex. Vineet, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And I understand this is your first GBTA convention, is that right?
It is for me as well as for Brex. This is our debut year.
Excellent. Well, welcome. We're delighted that you're here and
Thank
that
you.
you're going to spend a few minutes with us.
Mhm.
Let's talk about, tell us a little bit about what Brex does, who
Yeah.
you are, what you do.
So, Brex started off 7 years back as a credit card company for businesses. Right?
Okay.
We started with startups and then moved up market to middle size companies, and now we are, of course, offering the same to larger enterprises. As we did that, we realized we also should have a spend management offering with it. So the credit card, spend management, this all comes in a package of product that we sell to our customers. And as customers do that, the two main use cases they use the platform for is T&E and of course procurement. So T&E is an important aspect of, it's almost 30% of the spend for a company. So you manage travel, and managing travel means managing travel cost, managing travel spend. So we do that in a seamless manner, offering all of this in one product. So that's what Brex does, and hence why we are at GBTA.
Okay, makes sense. It's a good thing you're here, right? So from your perspective, what's the current state of the travel industry and just how would you characterize it right now?
Yeah, I think especially after COVID, that things have opened up now. Travel industry is still going through a big flux, and I characterize it in two ways. One is the demand from users and customers are evolving. One of the bigger things that we are seeing, because we are a spend company, we look at the spend that customers do, there is much larger scrutiny on travel spend. Like, why can't you do this meeting over Zoom, right? If it's
Yeah.
a sales call, it's
Sure.
become a reality now. The use cases for traveling or the reason for traveling are changing from these just frequent flyers going on sales visits to, oh, we need to have employee connections, let's do some off-site and on-site, right? So because of that, almost seismic shifts and finance weighing in even more on travel managers to say this needs to be within check because we want to make sure we are not overspending on travel, which means travel managers have to thread this needle between what employees want in terms of
Right.
flexibility and what they need in terms of control. So that's on the behavior side, if you will. On the technology side, in travel industry, there are three things that are undergoing big shift. Number one, most of the companies are realizing that just travel booking in itself is not enough, because travel starts with making a booking but finishes with an approved expense. So these
Yeah.
two things cannot be living separately. They need it together.
Yeah.
Second, from an inventory side, NDC after almost 10 years is starting to,
Get some traction.
get some traction, and this will, in my opinion, only increase because the goodness that NDC brings in terms of you can have flexible fares, flexible packages that you can have. Companies will ask for it, and hence industry will have to adopt it. So that's the bigger one. And third, especially this year in 2023, AI is here to shake things up. But it's my opinion that AI will shake things up. In the travel use cases, there might be 2 or 3, but overall in the T&D space, it'll shake things up faster and better, at least in the short term. So these are the things that we see very closely happening in the travel industry.
Interesting. Good insight. So how should companies with globally distributed teams think about travel management in the coming year?
Yeah, good question. We are a globally distributed company ourselves. We are actually remote first or remote only. And especially with COVID, we have adjusted to this new normal in a way where, we are hiring in Canada and in Brazil and Mexico. We have a team in Israel. So the things that we have done, we have a playbook, and I'm happy to share that playbook that the companies can also use. One aspect of the playbook is be very intentional about morphing your policies to adjust to this new normal, right?
Adjusting to the
New normal
new
of
normal.
after
Yeah.
after
Yep.
COVID, because like you have to allocate time and money for the offsites and onsites for meaningful connections for employees, whether it is for camaraderie building, team building, or for getting a project done, because you can get so many things done if when 10 people are there for 2 days versus doing everything on Zoom. So you just have to shift to say the company is very, very aware of it, and this is how we are reacting to it. That is number one. We have also seen a small but dedicated team. We have a team called Employee Experiences to manage these offsites and onsites. Also goes a long way. You just can't leave it on a travel manager or just managers themselves to do all these arrangements. So that again goes in a big way in really helping the companies which are globally distributed. And the third thing is, I would say, get some software help. When you're doing all this, do not leave things on spreadsheets, chat
Yeah.
tools, and email to
Yep.
manage. Hundreds of hours and thousands of dollars can be saved if you use the right software tools to manage these group events. So that's been our experience, and we would advocate the same for these companies as well.
And I think that rolls right into the last question, which is how can travel management impact an organization's bottom line?
In a significant way. As I said, and repeating again, travel starts with a booking but finishes with an approved expense. If you do not know what the travel budget and how you're tracking to it almost in real time, you are bound to go over budget. What normally happens is it takes 2 to 3 months when expenses are reconciled of a travel that happened, which means by the time finance realizes, in most cases you are over budget, and hence the bottom line is impacted. The annual budget that you crafted for yourself, you are no longer tracking to it, which is not in a good place to be, especially when the economy is tough and when there is a higher scrutiny on you. So number one, policy enforcement during booking is important, and number two, in a way that you can actually track expenses in real time. These two are the ones which can really, really help CFOs, because they are really looking at this, and travel managers who need to make it easier for the CFOs to track this properly.
Excellent. Well, Vineet, thank you so much for spending a few minutes with me today and talking about Brex. It sounds like you guys have a lot of exciting things that are
We do.
going to help shape the future of business travel. So it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me again.
I'm Monisa Klein here at the GBTA Broadcast Studio.